Okay, now that we're pretty close to the end of this tune, I'm getting ready for the test ride. I'm just going to top up the tires with air. You know, probably should have done the tires before I did the brakes. You know, when you get the tires up to maximum pressure, it can actually expand the rim slightly and make your brakes feel tighter. Yeah. It's not going to happen with this bike, it's okay, but that was just a tip. So before you go slamming a bunch of air into your tires, you need to make sure that the tire is beaded on the rim sufficiently. What can happen is if you have a low spot and then on the other side the high spot, the bead's not locked in to the rim, and the tube when it's fully pressured can work its way out, pop that bead, come out, expand and hemorrhage, and then blow up, and it's like a gunshot goes off right next to you. So there's this line. Where's my pokey I can show here? There's a line right here, right above the rim, that I look at when I spin the wheel, and I'm checking to make sure that that's about the same all the way around. It's not diving in, it's not raising up too high. If it's diving in on one spot, chances are it's diving out or raising up high on the other side or on the other side of the wheel. So check both sides. And that's looking pretty good. So it also says on the side of the tire, typically, almost always, how much pressure. Inflate to minimum 100 psi, maximum 130 psi. So that's 7 to 9 bar. Okay. So let's just check what we got here. $70. Okay. Now, my compressor is not going to go up to 130. My general rule of thumb on tune-ups is I don't like going much higher than 100 to begin with, because if, like, I don't know if a person's going to pick up their bike and then leave it in their car and go shopping, and then it gets hot in the car, and then the tire pressure increases and blows the tube out. So I generally do about 100 is my maximum. Because, you know, you should have your own bike pump anyway if you're into this sort of thing. So yeah, that's going to be about 100. Okay. Get off. Alright. Now with the press the valve, lock the valve down, check the valve nut, make sure that's not loose. This valve cap, where'd it go? Came with the bike, is broken. So I'm going to replace that. Hopefully. Need more light. Oh, am I out of them? No. Out of luck. Tend to run out of those things. Oh, we'll just put it back on there. Hopefully it'll stay long enough. It's hinky. Okay, front one. Check the bead. That side's good. That side's good. Nice. There we go. Oh, yeah, it's not on there correctly. Bah. There we go. Okay. That's about the same. All right, 100 psi. Valve cap. That's locked down, that's good. Okay. A few other little things. I'm going to cut that zip tie off, the excess. Just pretty it up a bit. There we are. Okay, well, you know, like I said, I was not going to forget about the headset being loose. Well, yeah, I took the bike out of the stand and went, oh yeah, the headset's still loose, so I still have to do that. Trusty three-way. Bike needs to be on the ground. Now, to check your headset, you hold the front brake, turn the handlebar sideways. You want to put your hands, your fingers around where this dust cover meets the cup that's installed in the frame, top and bottom. So put it there, rest on the bike, and rock, and all sorts of play. Totally moving there. I don't even know if you can see that, but, and double check on the bottom. Oh yeah, it's totally moving down there too. I can also tell by dropping it that it has a vibrate sound. So, first thing to do, loosen the stem clamp, which wasn't very tight, it seems. Ugh, totally not tight. Could be a reason why it's loose. Now, this top cap, I'll just pull that out and show you. Oh, yeah, that wasn't tight. Oh my god. This top cap is what puts compresses the bearings, sets up the load on the bearings. Goes into what they call the star nut that's pressed into the steer tube of the fork. And as you tighten it down, it pushes the stem down and thus takes the play out of the bearings. So, since I got that out, lube. If this gets corroded and rusted and stuff in the future, instead of tightening down the bearings, you're going to start pulling that star nut out, and it's not going to do anything for you. You won't be able to adjust it. And this is another guess and check. Okay, so I got a bit of pressure on there. Now with all bearings, you want them as loose as possible without any play. So that I'm going to try. We're going to tighten the stem down. Ow. lift up the front of the bike, a little spin, there's no resistance. Sounds much better. Do the check. We're good. Now, check my handlebar alignment. Seems okay. I'm just going to quickly adjust the angle of these bars. This handlebar is set up a little odd. You know, personal preference can override how something should be set up, but with the road bike, basically you take this section of the bar, should start off being parallel to the ground, so you can see how much that's rotated up. So this rider was asking about getting this better because he's finding it uncomfortable. It's probably got too much pressure on his hands. It's awkward getting at the brakes at this angle because your wrists are bent up like that. So when we lower this bar down, rotate it down, it's all going to be more natural feeling. Less fatiguing as well. So just loosen these bolts. Check, there's lines on this bar. Make sure we're centered. It's slightly off the center. So let's give her some wiggles. There we go. And then I think that other line just wore off. That's a problem. Okay. There. That is looking better. Now you want to tighten these equally. There's a gap here. There's a gap on the bottom. You don't want one side sucked down and then the other side really gappy. You want them even. Okay. It's good. Now the other thing to check is the brake and shifters. You can see that this one is bent in. That one's not too bad. You draw another line with this part of the bar here. You know, start off with all that in line of each other with each other. This one shoots over. So on these brakes, on these controls, there's a bolt underneath the hood. I don't know if I'll be able to open this up enough for you to see, but it is right down in there. So I'm going to take my Allen key, get it in there, loosen a bit, and just rotate this out. The grip, or the handlebar tape, is fighting me here because the handlebar tape goes all the way down and around the body of the shifter. So how does that look? That's not too bad. Maybe just a little too much in there. Okay, that looks good. See if it feels natural when I'm test riding it. Tighten that down. Make sure the other side's tight, and it's not. I can move it by hand. Okay, that's good. Because now, when you're riding on the hoods, your hands are pointing down. It's not all going to be sore wrist. Nice. All right, time for the test ride.